Hey, friends! This time I have an old school picture made by one of the masters, Cecil B. DeMille. An unusual picture for him. This was a comedy and a musical. And it has a WTF factor going on, which you just have to see. We're talking about Madam Satan from 1930. Our story goes like this. Angela is married to Bob, and Bob is bored. Sure, he loves his wife, but Bob wants some spice in his life. He wants to play around with other chicks. And when he's not cheating, he's getting up to no good with his best friend Jimmy. Now, Angela is fretting about this. Things come to a head when she catches Bob in a lie and finds out about Trixie, his latest mistress. Angela decides to be proactive and goes to see this chick. Hijinks ensue as Jimmy tries to cover for Bob. Well, Angela realizes she has to do something to save her marriage and takes Trixie's advice about how to handle men. Now, it turns out that Jimmy is having a big masquerade ball on board his zeppelin. And this is where Angela makes her play. If Bob wants hot, she decides she's gonna be so hot, she'll give her wayward hubby a volcano to deal with. So hot they'll have to call out the fire brigade. And this is where she creates the persona of Madam Satan, an ultra-hot, slinky, sexy chick with a French accent and a revealing outfit calculated to drive the male of the species wild with desire. And it works. Of course, she's only after her hubby, who naturally goes gaga for Madam Satan. So what we have here is kind of a True Lies situation. At the height of the party, a storm brews up that wrecks the Zeppelin. Can Angela win back her husband? Will true love prevail? And what the hell is this? Now, the Twitter kids will, of course, hate this one. This is a pre-code picture that has sexy chicks in skimpy outfits who aren't hot for one another. And the man Angela loves is a philanderer she wants to keep. But we're not the Twitter kids, are we? So we can go ahead and enjoy this movie, and they can go piss off. This movie was a flop, believe it or not. At the time, the dawn of sound, there was a glut of musicals that came out. Many were not very good, and people were kind of tired of them. True, as a musical, this is not in the same league as Berkeley's stuff. No. Most of the songs are forgettable, except for Low Down, which is a standard. It's definitely got that dry, upper-class, drawing room, comedy of manners vibe going on. But Madam Satan is amazing nonetheless. The costumes, the sets, the Zeppelin. Originally, Madam Satan had a 2-strip Technicolor sequence, but none of the color footage survives, sadly. The film stock didn't work for all of the shots they were going to use with the miniatures anyway, but wouldn't you love to see the masquerade outfits in color? I know I would. In our cast, we have Reginald Denny as Bob and Roland Young from Topper as his best friend Jimmy. He's excellent. Kay Johnson plays our heroine, Angela. She appeared in the 1934 version of Human Bondage with Leslie Howard and Betty Davis, and The Adventures of Mark Twain in 1944. She sort of retired after that in the late 40s to raise her kids. Lillian Roth is the other woman, Trixie. She and Roland Young are great sparring together, which they do several times in the picture. She was in Animal Crackers with the Marx Brothers. We also have future stars who pop up in this if you can spot them. Alan Rocky Lane, the Western star, plays one of the Zeppelin crew. Pretty sure that's him. Mary Carlisle plays Little Bo Peep, and Dvorak and Ann Southern both play some of the revelers at the party. And Catherine DeMille, Cecil B's daughter, has her debut as one of Henry VIII's wives. Julianne Johnson plays Miss Conning Tower. She was the princess in The Thief of Baghdad in 1924 with Douglas Fairbanks. I really need to review that one. The Fish Girl was played by Martha Sleeper. She was in Rhythm on the Range with Bing Crosby, Spitfire with Katharine Hepburn, and Our Blushing Brides with Joan Crawford. Her last appearance was in The Bells of St. Mary's. She left movies to make Bakelite jewelry, housewares, and art. Then she became a fashion designer, and she made a mint for herself, too. Good for her. Abe Lyman and his orchestra appear here as themselves, and Cecil B. DeMille himself cameos as a radio announcer. So quite a crowd. The Zeppelin, man, it's incredible. all Art Deco design and stuff. They have these chicks in Zeppelin pedal cars serving drinks. Jeez, the whole Zeppelin disaster sequence would be right at home in an adventure or a drama movie. It really is something else, but it's a comedy, so you know nothing really bad is gonna happen to any of these people. It's pretty thrilling stuff, though. It's spectacular, because that's what DeMille was all about. Spectacle. If you've ever seen the Ten Commandments, Reap the Wild Wind, the 1934 version of Cleopatra, The Crusaders, and on, you know exactly what I mean. This guy could put on a show. Again, the Twitter kids will hate it. That's how you know a movie is good, if you ask me. True, it'll be kinda dry to audiences today, but Madam Satan is totally worth a watch. Denny and Young are in great form, Kay Johnson's fun, and Lillian Roth especially is a real hoot. The costumes are wild, the sets, and the Zeppelin, man. That Zeppelin. It's just a movie you've got to see at least once in your life for that WTF factor, if nothing else. So I'm giving Madam Satan 2 3/4 paws up. That might be a little generous maybe, but I think the movie earns it. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.